On September 4th, 2025, the news of Catherine, Duchess of Kent, passing away at the age of 92, was formally announced by Buckingham Palace. She died peacefully at Kensington Palace, surrounded by her family. The announcement marked the end of a remarkable life that combined royal duty with personal conviction, public compassion, and quiet service. Her passing was immediately met with sadness across the country and the Commonwealth, with tributes flowing in from family members, public figures, charities, and those whose lives she had touched over many decades. For her husband, Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, it was the most personal of losses. The two had been married since 1961, sharing over 6 decades of life together. Their bond was one of resilience and quiet devotion, standing strong through years of public duty and personal choices that shaped their family. The Duke's farewell to his wife has been described as deeply private, yet it symbolizes the strength of a lifelong partnership. Together, they raised 3 children: George, Earl of St. Andrews, Lady Helen Taylor, and Lord Nicholas Windsor. Each of them, along with her grandchildren, is remembering not only a duchess who served with dignity, but also a mother and grandmother whose love was constant and steady. Family members have shared that her presence will be missed most in personal ways. Her warmth at family gatherings, her interest in the lives of her grandchildren, and her guidance as the matriarch of their household. Although many details of their mourning remain private, the family's collective grief has been recognized publicly, reminding people that behind her royal title stood a woman deeply loved by those closest to her. The wider royal family also joined in mourning. Buckingham Palace's statement paid tribute to her long years of service, her compassion, and her dedication to causes that mattered deeply to her. King Charles III and Queen Camilla expressed their condolences and support for the Duke of Kent and his children, emphasizing how Catherine's presence will be greatly missed within the royal family. Prince William and the Princess of Wales released their own tribute, describing her as a much-missed member of the family and praising her tireless work for others. Their words reflected how, even within the family circle, she was seen as someone who gave her time and energy to meaningful causes without seeking attention for herself. The public response was equally heartfelt. Messages poured in, not only from within the United Kingdom, but also from across the Commonwealth and beyond. The Governor of Queensland, among others, posted a public message honoring her memory and her warmth. International figures recalled her visits, her charitable involvement, and the grace with which she represented the royal family, while maintaining her own individuality. Catherine's life was remembered as one defined by compassion, dignity, and a commitment to serving others. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer summed it up in his official tribute, saying she brought compassion, dignity, and a human touch to everything she did. This statement echoed what many people felt, that her legacy was not just tied to her title, but to the way she conducted herself throughout her life. Music was a central thread running through her life and legacy. From an early age, she had a deep love for music, one that shaped her choices and commitments. Unlike many royals who focused primarily on traditional duties, Catherine immersed herself in music education, eventually teaching at a primary school in Hull. For over a decade, she worked there as Mrs. Brower Kent, choosing anonymity so that the children could learn without being distracted by her title. Parents and fellow teachers recalled how she traveled long distances to attend her classes, fully dedicated to her role as a teacher. This choice of stepping into ordinary school life revealed the depth of her character, showing she valued the power of music to change lives. Her teaching experiences later led her to co-found the charity Future Talent in 2004. This organization continues to support musically gifted children from underprivileged backgrounds, providing them with instruments, lessons, and mentoring. Future Talent became the cornerstone of her charitable work and has impacted countless young lives. Many of those who have benefited from the charity today speak about how their opportunities in music would have been impossible without the foundation she helped establish. Her passion for creating chances for others ensured that her influence extended far beyond royal circles into classrooms, rehearsal spaces, and the lives of children who found their voices through music. Her compassion also extended into other charitable work. She was a longtime supporter of organizations such as Childline and The Passage, a charity helping homeless people. These commitments reflected her practical approach to helping others. She did not simply lend her name, she actively engaged with causes that aligned with her belief in dignity and kindness. People who worked alongside her in these organizations often noted her modesty, saying she preferred to listen rather than to speak, and that she was more focused on outcomes than recognition. Katharine was also remembered for moments that touched the public deeply. One of the most famous examples came at Wimbledon in 1993. As patron of the All England Club, she often presented trophies and attended matches. But on that occasion, after Jana Novotná lost the women's final in heartbreaking fashion, Katharine comforted her on court as the player broke down in tears. That gesture was widely reported and remains one of Wimbledon's most enduring images. It showed the Duchess not as a distant royal figure, but as a compassionate presence willing to share another person's pain in a very public moment. That single act captured the way she was often perceived by the public: dignified, yet approachable, formal, yet deeply humane. Her life was also notable for decisions that broke with royal tradition. In 1994, she converted to Roman Catholicism, a move that carried constitutional implications, given the historic restrictions surrounding Catholicism and the royal succession. It was a deeply personal choice, made quietly, but it highlighted her willingness to follow her conscience, regardless of convention. In 2002, she stepped back further from royal duties, no longer using the Her Royal Highness style in the same way, and instead focusing her time on charitable work and teaching. These choices marked her as someone who valued authenticity and service above ceremony, a quality that earned her respect both within and outside the royal family. In the days following her death, arrangements were made for a Catholic Requiem Mass at Westminster Cathedral. This was a significant choice, reflecting her faith and her personal wishes. The service was attended by members of the royal family, including the King and Queen, as well as her husband, children, and grandchildren. It was a private and solemn occasion, centered on faith and family rather than public spectacle. After the service, her coffin was taken to the royal burial ground at Frogmore, where she was laid to rest. The ceremonies reflected both her position within the royal family and her personal convictions, blending tradition with individuality. As her funeral took place, charities and organizations associated with her work spoke about her legacy. Future Talent reaffirmed its commitment to carrying on her mission, ensuring that the opportunities she fought to create for young musicians will continue. Teachers and former students from Hull recalled her dedication in the classroom, remembering her not as a royal figure, but as someone who inspired children to see music as a source of joy and discipline. Other charities she supported also paid tribute, highlighting her long-standing commitment to those in need. Her death has reminded many of the quiet but lasting influence she carried. Unlike some members of the royal family who remained constantly in the public eye, Katharine chose to step back and devote herself to specific causes. Her humility was often noted as her defining trait, and it is this quality that shaped the way she is remembered today. She leaves behind not only her husband, children, and grandchildren, but also a legacy of compassion and service that will endure through the institutions and charities she supported. For her family, her passing marks the loss of a wife, mother, and grandmother who placed love at the center of everything she did. For the public, it marks the farewell of a duchess who demonstrated that royalty could also mean empathy, humility, and conviction. for the causes she championed. Her death is not an ending, but a reminder to continue the work she valued most. In the end, Catherine, Duchess of Kent, is remembered with love. A son's final goodbye symbolizes the depth of her family's loss, while the tributes from across the world show the breadth of her influence. Her compassion, her devotion to music, her commitment to helping those in need, and her quiet dignity remain her lasting legacy. As history records her passing, it also secures her place as a royal figure who lived not for grandeur, but for service, leaving behind a legacy measured not in titles, but in the lives she touched.